Definitely. We did see the Renekton, work out well the one time it got brought out for Ssumday in spring. Had a pretty nice game on it and has been fairly successful on it, overall. As you say, I do think that this Orianna Rakan combo is very powerful. It's very standard. You have the Trundle to try to shred through some of the front line here, and I do think that the late game is going to be very, very nice for 100 Thieves. But at the same time, there is some pretty powerful late game here with the Azir on the side of Immortals. They have pretty good engage in playmaking with the Leona as well as this Lee Sin, so they are going to have their opportunities too. But I do think that 100 Thieves both have the better late game and kind of the easier to execute composition. So it is going to require, I think, something a little bit special here from Immortals if they are going to be able to pull this one off.
Well, Immortals throughout this year have been able to pull off special things. Now, the roster is a lot different from when that was happening before, but you can still hold out hope. I still have that sort of back pocket idea that sOAZ can pull out some miracles. I think he's still a very good player overall. It's not showing a whole lot this split, but I know he's got it in him. So that is where a lot of my eyes are. I'm kind of curious what the top lane matchup's going to look like overall and what we can get later on from the Immortals composition. Still agree with you, though. The standard team fighting looks 100 Thieves favored. Ease of execution feels 100 Thieves favored. And I still like their draft quite a bit. So we are on to the Rift for our last game of the weekend, our last game of the night or afternoon based on where you are. Morning, if you're late enough in the time zones. And let's see what we get ourselves here.
Yep. It is always a bit concerning, though, when you're looking at a game and you're saying, all right, your win condition Immortals, the guy we're looking to is sOAZ to beat Ssumday, who had the counter pick. And also just look at how they've performed the last couple of years, right? Ssumday was in the running for the best top laner of the league in spring. Licorice did edge him out in the voting, but there's some really, really high expectations for Ssumday again coming into summer. He did really struggle in the spring split playoffs, to be fair. That was a pretty big letdown for a lot of 100 Thieves fans, as people were kind of saying, this is going to be Ssumday proving everyone wrong in the voting, and he's going to slam Licorice, and he's going to slam Broken Blade, and he's going to show you he should have been first all team. And then he kind of got blasted and is now looking for some redemption coming into the summer split and trying to perform again at that high level and make a case for himself as the best top laner in the league.
Well, certainly can be done. There are 15 games to play in the regular season. This is one of them. We'll see if the road to redemption starts now, as the 0-3 start, obviously not what either team wants. Pretty heavy leash for Potluck over there on his red buff. Going to be a solo job for Meteos down here. They're both going to get the red buffs at pretty similar times. Trundle really good at single target low armor camps, and they're going to head their way across the jungles to their respective blue buffs here as well.
I've really been loving the hard-hitting analysis you've been doing with us today. One team's going to win, one team's going to lose. 3 games have been played, 15 games left,
Yeah, basic addition and subtraction, gotta say, one of my strengths. I thought, I was really good at most basic maths pre-calculus, and then calculus hit, and I stopped being good at math.
Oh, that's
so as long as it's not calculus, I'm actually, I got the numbers on lock. Decent bit of poke here for Stunt. Of course, Relic Shield, the most common for the vast majority of pro supports because it's way more reliable for gold. And some really good trading out of Eika, getting bits off of Ryoma here.
Yeah, very nice. He is playing Comet, so it is kind of more looking towards those early trades. You can also see that, by the cooldown on his Corrupting Potion there, when he popped it, he's going to be playing Time Warp Tonic, so very likely, Time Warp Tonic, Scorch, Comet, all of these things are often about winning those early trades. It's much more focused towards that, and I would expect you to be winning those trades in the early lane when you're playing against someone who is Phase Rush and very likely playing Gathering Storm and kind of the more scaling runes.
Really pushing the bottom side right here. It's going to be actually poised for perfect CS for Altec. Always a fan to see 19 CS at the end of the third wave as you can get the last 2 caster minions. That's always cool because it's not always doable. You're often under pressure in the opposing lane. And regardless, the top lanes are fighting. Ssumday jukes away from the knockback and still keeps the pressure going. It's going to be a big heavy trade there in the mid lane yet again as Ryoma gets the extra movement speed, which I guess gets away from his soldier for a second, but Eika very clearly trading heavier.
Yeah, it's pretty expected, but it is teleport available for Ryoma, so he picks up 20 farm, he can look to TP back and try to pressure this out a bit. You are always in a little bit of a dangerous situation right after you teleport, because if you get ganked post-TP, it becomes very, very punishing. But Ryoma now back in lane here. You don't want to spend too much mana, and this is a minor thing. But this is something that I actually sometimes see people make as a mistake a lot. If you base first as a solo laner and spend your TP to get back, it is safe to assume generally your opponent is going to TP back soon. And sometimes you'll see people TP back into lane and immediately spend all their spells on their opponent and like, yeah, I got lane dominance, I pushed you out. But it is essentially wasted mana because they are going to base right after you and teleport back too. And then you don't have those resources for when they come. So like, look at Ryoma right now. He's down at what, 20, 30% mana? And Eika is returning at full mana. So he's going to reset one more time. And in this case, you know, that makes it kind of okay because you were just looking to continually reset. But just something I see a lot of players sometimes misstep on.
For sure. Yeah, important for Ryoma to get boots for himself. He picked up the double Dorans, went for the heavy trade, said, okay, I need you back like now. Please get out of my lane so I can shove safely. In this case, as you're mentioning, yes, it did work out, but I've seen that one where the guy TP's back, tower dives, goes to 50 health, and the guy just TP's back to lane. He's like, guess I'm winning lane now, thanks, bud. And yeah, I've seen the really extremely bad version of that over in pro leagues before. Right now, early game, 100 Thieves favored, 500 gold lead, a lot of that in the top and for now bottom lane. Yeah, you're seeing a pretty big farm lead for Cody Sun, a really big one from Ssumday.
Yeah, and even mid lane is actually up in farm, you know, despite Eika winning out on the trades. One of the things he has honestly really struggled with is, you know, sometimes he does win these trades, but, you know, he's winning the trades and he's struggling to have, you know, that perfect farm while doing so. And that's something, you know, that I have seen when I've gone back and kind of watched, you know, pro views of his in the past. But they are looking for this bottom lane gank here. Potluck moving down.
Flash root, they're going to find the stun. Cody Sun burns the cleanse, and the teammate jumps right back out. Look at the amount of movement they get. Potluck not going to land the Q because Stunt walks in front. The dual lane will stay alive. It is 3 Summoners Burn on the Immortal side, 2 down for 100 Thieves. Cody Sun will be an easy target when he comes back to lane.
Yeah, it would have been a great gank, but Potluck just wasn't there yet, you know? They kind of pulled the trigger a little bit too early, maybe thinking that, hey, 100 Thieves bot lane is going to back off here, so this is our only opportunity to try to go for it. They did get some pressure, though, which is allowing them to start up this dragon, but Meteos is here. We'll see if they can contest this, because remember, Cody Sun's not here.
Danger. Potluck has to flash. Thanks for the leash. 100 Thieves not going to stay. They don't have the Xayah. The Immortals do had already taken the recall first. So Altec's here. Time for round 2 on this Drake. Eika first to move. They'll get it after all. Is Drake going to be no problem? Bit of an early smite, but no one around to steal it. Cloud Drake early game goes to Immortals.
And nicely done. So the gank doesn't really work out, but the bottom lane gets pressure, and they use that to take the dragon. So still pretty happy with that play overall if you are Immortals. But yeah, 100 Thieves here, back in time to farm this up, and they can either freeze or push, whatever they do desire. sOAZ getting pretty low up here on this top side. Does get pulled back in, though.
Yeah.
Ssumday taking the bad end of a trade. You can just walk out to the side, but I think he was nervous that walking out to the side will put him in turret range.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I saw him move a little bit. I was like, okay, he's going to get pulled back. Didn't get knocked up all the same. I do want to spend a little bit more time on how that bot lane dive went, because it's interesting. A lot of times as a dual lane, if you go and take the time to do Drake, like, safely, it's because the other bot laner had recall, right? Either you ganked them, pushed them out, or, you know, they took a recall timing. If you go Drake, it means you missed your recall time, which means that the guy walks back to lane with the BF sword, and you're in lane with nothing, and you just bleed the lane until you take a bad recall yourself. What Altec and Gate managed to do was get their own recall. Then once they're back in lane with a Vamp Scepter or a Longsword and boots, they say, okay, come get the gank, come force the recall. We've already spent our money, it's fine. We can then stay afterwards of shoving the wave, take the Drake, it's fine. Like, we don't need to go back yet again as a fight comes out the bottom lane. Yeah, they're fine. But the recall was first, then they did all those things that allowed them to have a fairly efficient kind of path around the bottom lane.
And I think that's really intelligent, especially when you consider the fact that Kalista isn't looking for a BF recall anyway, right? So just kind of AFK farming to that 1,300, you know, 1,500 gold mark and then basing alongside the Xayah is not beneficial for the Kalista. You know, getting back on that 900 gold for a Vamp is going to be feeling pretty good. Ssumday winning out on these trades pretty heavily up here on the top side, but without Meteos, it's going to be pretty hard to actually, you know, follow through and dive that Aatrox.
CSD of 10 right now is the wave, well, not quite resets, because Ssumday's trying to make it push as fast as he can, wants to keep that man under the turret. You see that Meteos is going for this Herald up in the pit. And because Renekton has pressure, he's safe. Now, Ssumday can probably point out that, hey, I don't see this guy right now. He's not in the lane, about to hit his turret. I don't see him, but now a dive to the bottom side. Yeah, the ulti was already up, but guess what? Altec had the same. Cody Sun's going to be in a bit of danger, but the feathers are up. If Eika goes over the wall, he gets rooted, they're going to be alive.
again, it's just so mistimed. It's so disappointing out of Immortals. I was looking at it. They spot Meteos on the top side, so okay, they can make a counterplay on bot side. I'm like, great, they're gonna go for a 4-man dive, but instead, why are they hard engaging before the Lee Sin and Azir even arrive? Because Cody and Stunt actually stayed around. I think if you just wait for the Azir and for this Lee Sin, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill.
Great pillar, but sOAZ held the E to dodge. Wait for the flash. Follow, puts in the ult, and the shockwave guarantees the kill. Meteos shows up and says, hey, thanks for all the help. Sorry, Ssumday, no assist for you, but we'll at least give you some plates.
Yep, but they're going to be able to get that turret very likely here also. So Immortals fails their play on the bot side, can't actually respond to the Rift Herald play, and then 100 Thieves, knowing that that play has failed on the bottom side and that Gate is on a recall timing there, look for a punish up on the top side. They're able to make the kill happen, they're able to knock down that first turret, and now this minor gold lead that Ssumday did have is going to become a pretty major one.
Yeah, 490 gold went to Ssumday throughout all those plates and the turret kill itself. Watch that again.
Yep, so here it is. And honestly, you know, as sOAZ, when you know that the Rift Herald just got killed, and when you know that the mid laner is missing, you probably shouldn't even be there, right? You know, it sucks. You know, you're going to lose the turret, you're going to lose the farm, but staying around, it's so difficult to actually prevent those dives in any way once they have set up behind you. You know, once Trundle is behind you, he slows you with the chomp, then you use a gap closer, you know, use your dash to get away, he's going to pillar you. This is really, really standard stuff. So sOAZ just had to leave before that dive was even possible and failed to do so. So it does pay with his life and loses the turret anyway.
And this game feels like more normal 100 Thieves games, right? Ssumday has an advantageous top lane matchup, gets a big CS lead. Here comes the Herald and the tower dive. It's Ryoma roaming up to the top side to make this all work. And Cody and Stunt are generally left to their own devices in bot lane. And thankfully for them, they're getting ganked 3 times and then are still up in farm because they're honestly just better players than their opponents are. Cody and Stunt are actually quite good players, and well, welcome to a 2,500, 100 Thieves gold lead where they're not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, and it's really, you know, also a product of Immortals just kind of failing their attempted plays, right? You know, if at the same time as that top lane play was happening for 100 Thieves, if they had actually made that 4-man dive happen on the bottom side, you know, get a couple kills potentially, get a couple turret plates, then all of a sudden it's not so bad. But when you go for a play that is losing you farm in mid lane and losing you, you know, efficiency in the jungle, and you fail it while your opponents are being efficient and also making their plays happen, this is what the game looks like. You just fall further and further behind.
Nice bit of crowd control. Stunt not even getting CC'd up by Gate and gets to walk back, no problem. Puts on the shields. Cody's son can feel comfortable, but now they have to respect, okay, ult for ult if it has to happen. Cody's son has the Feather Storm back. Cleanse even if that doesn't work, so not afraid of the 2-on-2 whatsoever. Now we're going to track the junglers being nearby. Meteos knows he's on a control ward. Potluck runs into him. This could have been potentially a fight. I feel like as 100 Thieves, I maybe take that. Let the guy face check me. Ryoma was able to move first. I'm actually kind of not sure why Meteos stepped out of the brush. I think they're probably always comfortable looking for that battle.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't sure if sOAZ was looking for a TP, because I think sOAZ was in base, so
yeah,
you know, maybe he was a little bit nervous about that reset timing. You know, sOAZ coming in behind you, so wanted to play it a little bit more slowly. And now, to be fair, anyway, they got control of the lanes. They're going to be the ones that are going to have the first start in the dragon. Ssumday is pressuring the tower up on that top side, so Cody's son will be forced to ult.
Yeah, he can go for the root. Does get that. Doing decent damage here on a Gate, and maybe they pull the trigger Meteos, but you can see, right? Meteos wasn't in range, so there's no ult burn. Stunt doesn't go in all the way. Now, Cody's son has cleanse, has flash. Stunt goes in for the charm, goes for a lot of crowd control, and now goes for round 2. Pillar comes in, double charm there as well, and now there's the Renekton. 4v4, the flash stun in the backline. Can they chase down Altec? He's summonerless, he's ultiless. One more auto will kill him, and Ssumday gets the kill credit. Nicely done right there. Finally waiting for the team to show up, and 100 Thieves get the kill right away.
Nice attempt at a disengage from Potluck. He did get that multi-man kick, you know, knocking Ssumday back through their teammates, but Altec unable to escape. And they are going to be able to get turret plates here now, you know, potentially, or the dragon. So they're going to go for the dragon, it looks like, try to continue moving towards another win condition. You know, they do, I think, already have a very nice late game setup, but trying to put more pressure on Immortals, start to collect these dragons. We'll find out, is it going to be the mountain? Yeah, so it's going to be Mountain Soul that will be available, and will be really, really nice against any sort of potential burst. But here it is one more time. Cody's not actually able to just sidestep the ulti there, so it just slows, and then easy reaction time there on the ultimate for that Zenith Blade to escape that, and then as Potluck arrives, looks like Immortals think, hey, we can actually go forward. We can look for this fight, but Stunt has a good job in popping the ulti early. If Potluck takes that Q, he's just going to get charmed up as he goes in. Stunt is able to charm up 3 of them anyway. Ssumday's teleport, really big impact here. Was a good kick disengaged by Potluck, but they're able to get forward and finish off that AD carry.
The timing was so good, too. Watching that replay, the TP started the second that Meteos walked out of the brush. They're saying, okay, get ready, and now. And both players took their mics at the same time from the other sides of the map, and suddenly it was 4v2 when they thought it was 2v2. Really, really nice stuff there. 100 Thieves, you can see now, 2-kill lead. They've only really led a Drake the entire game, and their goal lead is 3.25.
Yep, looking really good so far. Ssumday on the Blade with Rune King. This is a really strong dueling item. Looking to try to continue winning this 1v1 after getting some of that early help. Did create a CS advantage himself, but then they got that turret down, they got the gank, and now he wants to try to exploit this matchup. He did pick up the kill on Altec off that TP, and with this itemization, should be very, very comfortable against sOAZ in any sort of isolation run.
Ooh, nice. Ulti's going to find Ryoma. Gets his own ulti off. Runs for as fast as he can. A kick flash is going to mean the kill comes through in the end of the day. So Immortals on the board kill-wise. Bit of pressure towards mid lane.
Nicely done by Potluck. It looks like he might be able to get out there for a second with the phase rush. Potluck recognized he had to go for the kick flash to secure that. Is able to pull it off. So Eika and Potluck combining there for a kill on Ryoma. And that is going to get them some time to potentially get their first major objective here. We'll be knocking down this Rift Herald, but 100 Thieves are posturing as though they want to fight. Would be kind of risky, as it would be down a member.
And we get the top lane pushed in yet again, as Immortal's going to just hold on to this one. We'll see when they get another turret, or I guess I should say the first turret for them this game. We still have some top lane pressure. I want to point out sOAZ is kind of encroaching on the farm barrier, right? It's now a 2 CSD, 15 minutes and a half into the game. Obviously, a better top lane fight came through from Ssumday off of the fact that his TP went really well. Big damage on a Ssumday. sOAZ puts him at almost half HP. Blade of the Rune King being done, though, means any medium-sized trade is always Ssumday favored. And now a blue buff steal is coming.
Yep, Ssumday can also just kind of heal back up off of this. Looks like Meteos wants to donate it over to Ryoma, who's potentially running over, but will just decide to take it himself and try to keep that pressure up. Ssumday pushing on that bottom side, and 100 Thieves have kind of just gotten back into this relaxed mode as Ssumday looking for an aggressive trade here. sOAZ is in trouble.
Yep, forces the ulti out of sOAZ to run fast enough away, just runs right in, says, I'll land the stun and go for this one. And it's going to wait that one out. So this will be an advantage to Ssumday, of course. No Aatrox ulti to kite away next time around. And that might mean a lot of pressure. You can see, yep, Meteos comes right back down to the bottom side. And this time, sOAZ runs away before the gank can show up.
Yeah, very intelligent. Honestly, even if other members weren't coming, after he forces the ulti out there and you're down around half HP, there is a lot of potential just for a solo dive, knowing that you have the Rift Arrow play to make on that top side. Get some gold in the pocket there of Altec, so he is going to be scaling up quite nicely, and Ssumday will be able to finish this off, but not before denying a lot of those minions.
A couple of waves die to the turret. Now we can see more pressure as Altec finally drops the aggro and goes for top lane turret. So it will be a trade of objectives. The Herald obviously hastening that one a little bit, but it means Altec gets some more bonus XP, gets some time by himself to scale up and be a bigger mid to late game threat. We still, though, have a 3,000 gold difference. We still have 100 Thieves feeling like they're in the driver's seat with a better late game on top.
Yep, and sOAZ is just at such a weaker point of the game right now. I think he recognized, just how much work that Blade of Rune King was doing, plus the Conqueror healing, obviously, healing from Call the Meek, the Q also. So he actually hit stop there to grab a Bramble Vest, but this does mean that he's not going to have an item completed for a long time, right? Where you're 17 minutes into the game, he has the CDR Garage Sale, which is pretty standard, but then normally you'd be rushing towards, that Black Cleaver Death Dance type combo. Those are going to be so far off, so you almost think by default, this next dragon would be going 100 Thieves' ways just off of kind of the discrepancy there in item completion.
Alrighty, well, once again, some battle in mid lane. Eika's going to have to jump to a soldier over the wall. Goes back for a bit of poke. Decent damage towards Meteos down there as the next Drake is spawning up. And Mountain Drake is going to be the one, of course, for the rest of the game. 3 to go until either team gets Dragon Soul. Right now, 100 Thieves seem poised to be the ones to do that as they've taken control of the bottom river, and they've got everyone around here. sOAZ is showing up, but everyone is going to be more or less in range, and sOAZ has stepped too far. Yep, has to burn Flash to get away because he knew Rakan could go for it. And now the flashless Aatrox, who's half HP and jumped overall, means there's really no contest. And it's going to be a very easy Drake pickup for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it just seemed weird that he was even trying to poke away at them, to be honest with you. Eika was already moving up towards the top lane. The rest of his team was just parked in mid lane. It felt like he was the only one who had any interest in trying to make something happen here. And it's like, even if you knock up all 4 of them or something 3 times in a row, if you're the only one there, you're still just going to be dead or having to run. And in this case, he did have to force that flash out.
Alrighty, well, it's going to be something for Immortals with the top lane pressure they got, with the team parked in mid a little bit ago. They're going to get to go for a blue, nearly stolen by Ryoma. Over the wall, just out of range for the distance to claim that one, but that would have been a bit unlucky for Immortals to lose that after all their hard work. But they get a blue buff steal, so Ryoma will be stuck on low mana for a while. Until he recalls, he's really not able to fight very much. Puts the GLP down for a slow, just gets away from Sonic Wave. Potluck could have not ward hopped, the flash is still down, might not have gotten the kill regardless, but now engage into the mid lane. Altec forces the flash away yet again. Now it's done to the front line, big damage. But again, Gate is forced to be grabbed and shunted away from the fight.
Both summoners forced off of Altec there, and that is a big deal. So, without any of those summoners available for the Kalista, it does mean next time they want to look for a team fight, they have got to be extremely careful. So 100 Thieves, getting a little bit of an advantage off of that. And we did get to see that Hextech GLP in combination with the Phase Rush. It's such a nice combo as far as kind of getting you control in these fights and skirmishes. You have not only the incredible speed up and slow resistance with the Phase Rush, but you're able to slow down your opponents with that GLP. It also does, I believe, help you to actually proc the Phase Rush also. So pretty nicely played there by Ryoma to just kind of zoom out after proccing it.
Really nice minor thing by Ssumday. He saw his wave was low and walked away and let the minions knock down the cannon and all 3 casters. Just that little bit of patience, right? Denied 100 gold from the opposing team because no longer can sOAZ claim that money. Now 100 Thieves still feel confident. Again, as you mentioned, the cooldown-less Kalista not as big of a threat, and they're looking to pressure around that part of the map where she is. They know it's going to be a while till Mountain Soul. 8 minutes to go if they get them on cooldown. Meteos walking in, finds the slow, knows Altec can be a target. The flash engage. They get the knockup. He's trying to run away, and he's just going to get it kited out. Finally, Ryoma gets the kill with the last dissonance, and they're already ready to push down the mid lane. They've got the wave, and there's not a lot of wave clear out of Eika, and that means the turret falls for number 3.
They could also look towards the Baron if they want. At the very least, get some vision in that area. Without Kalista, Immortals wouldn't have much of an ability to fight. Instead, they are just going to try to move in, get more vision in the opponent's jungle, take away some of these camps. So they are looking more for the slow burn. 100 Thieves not really feeling any pressure to get things done here. As I talked about, I do think that they have the much more easy to execute on late game comp. I do tend to favor them in the 5v5 also. Although there is good playmaking on the side of Immortals, it can be really tough to actually make things happen in those 5v5s as Lee Sin and Leona. So 100 Thieves are just going to allow Immortals to kind of sit back if they want to, and they'll just continue farming and getting to a more and more comfortable situation.
Yeah, and Meteos getting more comfortable as they keep scaling on up. Level 11 funneling through for Cody Sun, going towards an early, Zeal upgrade second item. I'm partial, really, to Infinity Edge second. There's already an attack speed steroid on the Xayah kit, so I think IE is really good, especially because you have so much bonus AD scaling on your spells as well, right? The Q and E just scale off of raw attack damage, not that much off attack speed, but is going to be the build all the same, going towards probably Rapid Fire Cannon is the most likely. Obviously not going for Phantom Dancer, based on the fact that he has Kirchai's Shard. And otherwise, going to just keep scaling on, and third item will be IE, and that won't be too big of an issue. You can see also, the gold difference still 4,000.
Also worth noting, it is a Spellbinders for Ryoma, so again, more about the movement speed there, in combination with the GLP, with the Phase Rush. It also, if used well, can give you kind of this nice burst of damage on your initial combo with that Shockwave when you activate the Spellbinders Orb. And Altec, nice pull back in with that Shockwave.
Just gets away Eika here, but now it's damage towards Gate. The Altec ulti is up, finally pops. Here comes crowd control. This could be a good fight if they get the crowd control. Can Potluck be rooted up? Goes around the feathers, but he's slowed, and a kill comes through. Cody Sun finds that last crit, and the jungler is dead. Mid lane tier 2 going to follow right afterwards, and that gold lead will grow to 5,000 and change as they clean up here.
It's starting to balloon now. 100 Thieves handled that fight very, very well. Looked like a good kick from Potluck, but cleanse into the ultimate available for Cody Sun, so couldn't really pin him down long enough to actually get that kill. And once he was free, they couldn't really get back to him. Ryoma doing a ton of damage in that fight to a lot of the kind of squishy members here over on Immortals.
Looking good so far for 100 Thieves. Looking to pick up their first win of the split. team that I think on paper they expected to beat, and seems likely to happen right here. Immortals looking for some way in. Meteos going to be CC'd up. There's the slow, there's the stun. Pops this durability there with the stone plate showing up. 1,000 health left on him, gets a shield, and forces Immortals to run, but Gate has flash, knocked up. Gonna be in a pretty bad spot as Shockwave catches Eika. He pops his ultimate, gets Summoner heal, but over into the backline goes Ssumday. Finds the kill, and Ryoma gets the second. sOAZ TP'd in to find himself in a 1v3. Cody's son dives in for the damage output, and they should be able to clean him up, no problem. Gets a slam, gets some healing, flashes the way, and you gotta be kidding me, sOAZ makes his great escape. He'll stay alive, but it's still his Summoner's burn for not much gain.
Nicely done by sOAZ to actually fight his way out of that. Cody's son, I think, underestimating him a bit, and flashing forward into a lot of those sweet spots meant that plus the Bramble Vest, Aatrox was able to heal up a fair bit, and with him not going down, but again, another member caught out. Altec going down now, way out on the map, all by himself. There's no one else from his team anywhere remotely close to him. So this is going to be an easy dragon here for 100 Thieves. They have completely taken over the game at this point.
Yeah, they have. They are absurdly far ahead at this point here. 6,500 gold. Third Drake picked up. I feel like any defensive Drake feels really good when you're already ahead. Just ever so slightly gets rid of the ability for them to kill your front line, and maybe you survive that assassination attempt, by one extra auto attack or something, as the Mountain Drakes stack up. They grant expected durability. Nice amount of health gain there by the Trundle. Meteos gonna be happy with that one, as we're gonna have a 30-minute Mountain Soul most likely, and at some point, Baron's on the table.
Yeah, and when you're already this far behind as Immortals, really your kind of big chance is get a pick and instantly kill someone. Maybe kill Cody's son before he can get his ultimate off or something. And the Mountain Soul really does help to shut that down. A couple hundred extra in shielding there can sometimes make the difference in those scenarios. But I want to ask you, how do you feel about this Rage Blade over on Cody's son's Kalista? Because it's something we used to see more in the past alongside lethal tempo and that sort of stuff. But it does feel like it's much more these days about Blade of Ruin King into Hurricane than Death Stance and stacking lifesteal, and more about the survivability and less about just the pure single target output of that Rage.
Ooh, well, he finds himself a slow, and it's going to force the ulti out, but they're going to find a knockup yet again into Altec. He's going to jump back right next to the pillar and just barely stay alive, and I'll hold that thought because Ssumday's coming around now as well. Meteos wants in, finds himself grounded a little bit. Now the right back onto Eika. That's going to be a dead Azir, and Ssumday will not fall. 5v4, the chase can continue. Ryoma wants in, looks for a slow, gets the shockwave, catches sOAZ flash. Listen, that should be the crowd control. That should be kill number 2. Gate is likely next up, but again, Altec is there to save his teammate and keep that KDA at a nice, solid 0 down there, but no further deaths. The denominator will not grow. It's going to be a little bit safer, and now Baron is on the table.
Yeah, and Baron going to be off the table here for Immortals pretty quickly, as 100 Thieves will take this one down. Potluck the only chance here they have. But you can see Ssumday and Stunt are ready for him to try to come over and look for a steal. They can zone him away. Don't give any sort of an opportunity. This should not be a 50-50. You should be trying to turn and stop this Lee Sin from coming forward.
Ssumday and Stunt are the ones to mark him. Meteos has the Q on him, has to respect this one out. Here comes the teleport. So the timing is getting a bit tight now as the opposing members are starting to show up. It's going to be a 5v4 in a second. Gate still tanky. Potluck is in, goes for a kick, and he's going to run out of health, no longer in range of the smite. And that will be claimed by 100 Thieves there. I feel like Immortals maybe should have followed up a little bit more and helped Potluck, but he was there by himself. He got killed, and everything went 100 Thieves' way.
Yeah, it looked like Potluck was trying to actually kick Meteos away and then maybe Q back to the Baron and finish it off or something, but it wasn't quite low enough. The rest of his team wasn't in position. It was a 4v5, so Ssumday, it looked like, was able to land an easy stun and finish him off. At this point, it's really hard to see Immortals coming back in this one as more and more item completions are coming through for the 100 Thieves side. They are looking stronger and stronger, have a massive gold lead, and it feels like 2 minutes, that next dragon, that will probably be the final nail in the coffin if Immortals can even hang on through this Baron buff.
Yeah, Ssumday chunks down the wave, gets rid of the cannon, and that's going to be the turret falling here as well, as the rest of the team is ready to siege into the mid lane. Altec going to hope his single target damage off this build is enough to chunk through an individual frontliner, and I don't think he has the time, really. The front line really isn't there. Gate has to be resuscitated mid-fight every time. It's like, actually, you're a bit low. Call the trauma team, rescue him, bring him back up. He's flatline, and let's send him to the fountain. We'll see him a little bit. It's a tough one here, as this is the turret getting sieged down. The Terrans would be jealous. Look at that range. No answer back. 2 more shots go in, and that's going to be the open turret. That's going to be the shot at the inhibitor itself.
Yep, gonna be able to take this one, no problem it looks like. You know, Eika does have a death cap, which is something working for him, but Ryoma's gonna have his pretty soon, and has an additional item to boot, so 100 Thieves just continue to play it slowly. There's no need to rush this one up, and pushing in that mid lane wave. They have that top lane wave already escorted in, so they can look to finish off this turret and potentially take a fight here.
Yeah, and again, Gate dropped to 300 health. He says, well, I can get Kalista brought back, and that's nice. You have 400 health and can't team fight anymore. So the inhibitor is theirs, and they didn't really buy them anything but a cooldown missing out of Altec, and that's going to be the easy recall and the easy attempt at 50 seconds to go until Mountain Soul comes in.
Yeah, and with all that extra gold that they just picked up, I wouldn't be surprised to see Death Cap coming through. I wouldn't be surprised to see the IE coming through for Cody's son here. So it is going to be even harder next time around when this fight just didn't seem close whatsoever. Immortals not really able to contest the push, not really able to look for any sort of engage. As you say, Gate is just getting blown up absolutely. The team just seems to kind of fight back, focus Gate, he gets pulled out, and then where's your front line? You don't really have anything to move forward anymore. And sure, Potluck can look for some sort of an engage, but there's a lot of CC over on the side of 100 Thieves. So if Potluck flies in and just gets hit by a Stunt ulti, for example, which is very easy to do, you just walk over him on the resonating strike, then all of a sudden Lee Sin just dies before he even gets to do anything.
Ssumday has himself the Tanic Hydra. He does a lot of damage. Execution's for good measure. I like that he has it. It's going to help him against the Aatrox matchup even more. I mean, it's incredible that he has 3 full completed items and sOAZ has 1. He has components of 3 others, and it's just like, well, yeah, you're absurdly ahead. 10,000 gold lead. Let's add another, let's call it 3,000 roughly in Mountain Soul HP. I think that's the rough math on how good that thing is, and this is going to be such a difficult, if near impossible, comeback for Immortals. 1 inhibitor left standing, and all the chips with 100 Thieves.
Yeah, a lot of those luxury items have come through too. You know, they finished the death cap as expected. They finished the IE. You know, Ssumday not only has all those damage items, but he picked up an extra stopwatch just for the playmaking, so he can really throw himself in there and then use that stopwatch to buy time. Has a lot of one-punch fight. You know, you're really strong when you use that. So this is going to be very, very difficult for Immortals to have any chance at holding on here. Will require, I think, really a miracle kick from Potluck. If you can maybe kick in Ryoma and instantly kill him, then maybe you have a chance. But even then, it looks like you could probably lose the 4v5 afterwards.
All right, here comes the attempt at the bottom turret now. No real defense for Immortals. Gate walks up for an E with his team somewhat nearby. Not going to land it all the same. The turret's going to go down. You can't really defend with the inhibitor laid bare. You can fight at your turrets themselves and sit there and farm and wait and hope you somehow outscale with golden XP, because minions will be flooding in your base. But 100 Thieves are likely not going to let that happen. They're going to walk in and look for this battle here. Meteos going to take a little bit of poke, but pretty resilient with all the MR he's built so far this game. As the waves come in, 100 Thieves have to find their way into the fight. Sitting and letting Immortals farm doesn't seem like the right way in. Shockwave catches 3. That's the engage they wanted. Looking for the knockup, looking for the kill on the Gate. This time they will again get him pulled back out, but he burns down all the same. Now sOAZ is the target. As a double kill comes through for Ssumday, look to give him the 3rd. It's going to go to Cody's son, and this is got to be the game. 100 Thieves will finally claim their first win of the LCS Summer Split. They will take down Immortals in convincing fashion. There wasn't really much to do on the other side. 100 Thieves get a big top lane advantage. They get some big team fights. They get some big dives. They get all the neutral objectives. The Nexus will fall, and 100 Thieves improve to 1-3.
Yeah, really nice game there for 100 Thieves.